have one of those nights
when everything else feels bigger than you. The moment that you're in only feels like a part of something much greater. By day, I'm designing spaces, not just buildings, but places that make people feel something. It's about creating moments. And you know what? Life's too short to take seriously all the time. I mean, I'm in a gown and heels in a balcony. At the end of the day, it's not about perfection. It's about showing up. It's about giving what we can, caring for what matters, and making sure we're having fun along the way. Because life's messy, and we don't have to have it all figured out to make a difference. So go ahead, be a queen, a dreamer, a doer, and a little bit of a disaster. Just be you.
I'm the eldest daughter of 6, and I always had the hashtag ate duties. My parents eventually needed help supporting the family financially, so I decided to pursue opportunities in the Netherlands to help them out. I finished my bachelor's degree there, and I achieved that by working while studying and with the help of loved ones as well. I actually made a career for myself in recruitment, but one day I realized I wanted more, and I wanted something different. Long story short, I started listening to my gut and started being more true to myself. And that's when I decided to join Miss Universe, as it's always been my dream. Within 3 weeks, I was flying back to the Philippines and taking huge risks. It's exciting and it's scary at the same time, but it's all worth it. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's never too late to chase your dreams and to dream big. With the right intentions and dedication, anything is possible.
I am Luis Lian Innumerable Bobe, and I have a rheumatic heart disease. It's deadly, but it doesn't define me. My doctors advised me not to get pregnant. I was told not to be overly happy, sad, or even emotional. But here's the thing. The world doesn't get to tell us who we are or what we can do. I am a mother, a fighter, and I am your Miss Universe Philippines Super City Bacolod. Define your strength, own your story. Okay, it's time to play. What's your name? Bacolod City.
When I was 9 years old, I started playing bass guitar and volleyball, and it became my passion and my escape. But everything changed when I started gaining weight during my teenage years. I was cut from the volleyball team and was bullied. Honestly, it broke me to some point that I didn't even want to go to school. However, I refused to let their words define me. Instead, I choose to rise from adversities. The challenges have driven me to pursue modeling even when it felt impossible. The obstacles have driven me to aspire to be an international relations lawyer, breaking barriers. With every step, I reclaim my confidence and my voice. Today, I'm a symbol of transformation, hoping that my journey can inspire other young women that they can. As we step to the Miss Universe Philippines stage, may our journey inspire others that we are limitless. I am Natsumi Verdan Sekiguchi, and this is my story.
My name is Kayla Jane Utison, proudly representing the Filipino community of San Francisco. Like many people growing up in the Bay Area, I faced the challenge of feeling Filipino enough and sought ways to connect with my roots. In high school, I took the initiative to help found a Filipino club, creating a space for cultural connection and community. In 2022, I competed in my first pageant, proudly earning the title of second runner-up, representing my family's hometown of Negros Occidental and specifically Bago. Since then, I've had the privilege of attending and speaking at various Filipino festivals where I've celebrated our rich heritage and connected with our fellow kababayans. These moments have reminded me how powerful culture and community can be, and how they continue to inspire me as I represent the Filipino community with pride. Through this platform, kasama ninyo ako. I am with you to share our stories far and wide. The heart of a Filipino extends far beyond our motherland, and I am committed to ensuring our voices are heard across the universe.
Welcome to my life.
Hi, I'm Gwendolyn Melissa.
One thing I must sacrifice on this pageant journey is my privacy. Although I grew up leading, performing and modeling, I was always very reserved. I feared letting people into my life believing that they would only judge, criticize, or hurt me. And true enough, I was hurt many times. But God has shown me what true love is. That even in my imperfections, mistakes, and failures, I am still worthy of love. He has surrounded me with people who encourage me to keep trying, believing, and shining, even in the midst of my mess and my pain. So today, even with trembling hands, I choose to open my heart and walk this journey with you.
Mabuhay! Ako Yoshobel Mendones Libico, tikang han mga magbaysay, ngan maglipayon, nga mga waray-waray, Pasay Samar! I grew up not with riches, but with lessons. Lessons in resilience, responsibility, and love. As the acting eldest in my family, I learned the weight of dreams and the power of hope. My life was not defined by what I didn't have, but by what I could create. It was during those challenging times that I realized something powerful. Education is a gift that can rewrite any story. Education became my light, a beacon towards opportunities I never thought possible. It is why I now champion Pundasyon ng Pangarap, an advocacy rooted in basic education and literacy. Because every child deserves the chance to dream and the tools to achieve it. But this is not just my story. It is a story of every Filipinos who dares to rise. To my fellow dreamers, never let the weight of life hold you down. Rise, fight, and build the foundation of your own future.
I've always loved enjoying food with my loved ones. It's a way for me to reconnect and bond with them, as I firmly believe that food heals our soul. High school was an eye-opener, grounding me with the reality of the lives of others. My passion for sharing food started with Faith Cares, an initiative of my previous school to combat malnutrition. When opportunities presented for volunteering, I stepped in. Out of the 17 SDGs, Zero Hunger and Good Health has been my focus, especially since we found out that my mom was battling chronic kidney disorder. I firmly believe that food should not only satiate hunger, but also nourish the bodies of not only kids, but also the elderly. Having the capability to help is a blessing, but having a vision for a better future is a gift. A gift that I would like to share to my fellow Filipinos and hopefully to the universe.
Why don't Filipino farmers get the credit they deserve?
Growing up in the highlands, I fight for farming to be seen and heard as an equal profession. As someone who worked as a field coordinating officer, I have seen their struggles firsthand. Unpredictable prices, natural disruptions, import dependency crises, and more. This isn't just about profession, it's about preserving a way of life, a cultural legacy that defines us. From the fields of Benguet to the Miss Universe Philippines stage, I am Maiko Ibarte, amplifying the voices of the farmers to be heard because their story is also my story.
When COVID happened in 2019, I decided to go back to my family in America. And when I got there, I was really chasing independence. This is where I got a job at a burger shop at just 19 years old. And later that year, I became a manager. And I was the only female manager there. And I was just bossing men around, people who were twice my age. And this really toughened me up because at first, they don't want to listen because I'm a young woman. But later on, I really learned how to find my voice and how to use being Filipina and being hardworking to get that respect from them. When I worked there, I was able to really support myself. I got my first car, I had my first dog, I lived on my own for 2 years in a different state than my family, and that really built up my strength and independence, which changed me into the woman that I am today. It wasn't just about paychecks, it was about defining who I am.
I can say that I had a beautiful childhood. My parents are both loving and very supportive. They are my source of strength and happiness. Until they separated and it broke my once happy heart. That is when I stepped in as a breadwinner of my family. I joined barangay and town pageants to support my family. But then by joining pageants, I realized that I began loving it, and it became not just a way of earning money, but a dream. A dream to be an inspiration to many by sharing my story, my struggles, and my success. And now, I am given this opportunity to be on the most prestigious pageant and represent my province. Biruin mo, from barangay to the universe. Always remember that no matter what our circumstances are, we need to find the courage within us and follow our dreams. We can make all things possible if we take one step at a time.
I am Jadine Banagan, 21 years old, Miss Universe Philippines, Butuan. My family moved to Butuan years ago after our home in Ormoc was destroyed by Typhoon Yolanda. At an early age, I learned the value of responsibility. I started driving a tricycle to help with my school expenses. In grade 8, I joined my first pageant. In my second pageant, stage fright got the best of me. I did not win any awards that night. In college, a teacher pushed me to try again. I won the school pageant and later became first runner-up at Miss Persaa in the city. Then, a life-defining moment happened. I met a motor accident which changed everything. I lost 9 teeth and suffered a broken jaw, and even my chin was cracked. I could have let that moment stop me. Despite the pain, I wasn't ready to quit. I realized pageantry was more than just a competition. I joined Miss Universe Butuan not for the title, but to push my limits and embrace my true self and to inspire young girls out there that no obstacle is impossible to conquer. Everything, my struggles, my victories, has led me here, and I can't wait to see what's next.
This is my story. It all started in a place like this, a home, a small space where big dreams are built. And while this home started a Silicon Valley empire, in mine, I built my first robot and my dreams of becoming an engineer truly took flight. Although my story started in the Philippines, it was moving across the world alone at 16 to study and work in Silicon Valley that the best chapters of my story were written. Working with the greatest minds in science gave me the chance to be a part of history and unlock the secrets of the universe. But one secret I've learned is that there is no limit to the universe, or to a woman. Science can be done in stilettos, and you can wear both a lab coat and an evening gown.
I'm Allison E., and I'm here to show the beauty and brilliance.
When I was 6 years old, I heard a quote that said, "Never see a need without doing something about it." And I decided then and there that I wanted to do something bigger than myself. I wanted to dedicate my life to helping people. My true dahilan lies in the empowerment of education. Being an early childhood and primary teacher, I've been working hard towards improving the quality of learning for all children because education should be a right and not a privilege. In the past few years, I have started my own initiative called the Learn and Glow Project, where I have had the privilege of working alongside incredible teachers in Cagayan Valley, providing balikbayan boxes filled with learning resources to improve the literacy and numeracy skills of their students. As I step into the role of Miss Universe Philippines Australia, my goal is to utilize this platform to expand these efforts. This journey is about more than just a title. It's about using my voice to inspire others, to lead with kindness, and to create a meaningful impact in this world.
As a child, I have faced a lot of challenges. I have always been bullied because of my weight, and coming from a broken family did not make that easy at all. With an inquisitive mind, my curiosity for the human behavior has only amplified, which led me to pursue a degree in psychology. As a future psychologista, my heart is drawn to advocating for mental health awareness and promoting safe spaces for everyone, with high hopes that one day we could live in a world where, without the fear of being unheard and invalidated, but rather to be loved and understood. From then, reasons as to why I had gone through these challenges have gradually unraveled and made more sense. I knew that I was not alone in this battle. That's when I decided to use this platform to amplify my voice and become a spokesperson in hopes of creating a more understanding environment for people to be more open about their struggles.
As a teenager who battled with social anxiety and lack of self-confidence, becoming a beauty queen was a far-fetched dream. Growing up, I was scrawny, shy, and quite distant. But with my mom, who was my biggest supporter, always rallied behind my back to make sure I grew up to be a strong, self-assured lady. At the young age of 17, I debuted my way into the world of pageantry. Although I never won any of them, my mom always assured me that in God's perfect time, that moment would come. But she moved on to heaven so soon, just before I was crowned as Mutya sa Buhanan and the second Miss Universe Philippines Kamigan. Though I always feel that she's watching over me from up above. Living without a mother in your growing up years is hard, but it is in these trying times that we look back to their words of wisdom, to always be courageous yet kind-hearted, strong-willed but fair, and empowered but level-headed. After all, it's our character that matters the most.
Isang klase raw ng pagpapakita ng pagmamahal sa mga nakapaligid sa iyo ay ang tuparin ang pangarap na meron ka. Pero alam nyo, mahirap. Hindi naging madali. Lagi ko rin tinatanong kung ano bang itsura ng buhay ko kung hindi ko sinubukang magwagi. Takot ako noon. Sobrang takot. Mas gusto ko laging mapag-isa at umiwas sa mga tao. Minsan naiisip ko, baka hanggang dito na lang ako. Kaya sinikap kong kilalanin kung sino ba talaga ako. Hinabi ko ang mga kwento mula sa aking karanasan. Naniwalang mabibitbit ko ang tagumpay sa tulong ng pagmamahal sa sining at kultura. Hindi huminto, kaya nakatungtong sa mga entablado na hindi ko rin talaga inakalang makakarating ako. At ngayon, hindi na ako takot ipakilala kung sino ako. Ako si Jezreel, isang Kabitenya, at ito ang aking kwento.
At 14, I had a near-death experience where I was rushed to the hospital in the middle of the night, blacked out, was about to be intubated, and was diagnosed with severe pneumonia in both lungs. My parents were first-generation immigrants to the United States, and my mom, who worked as a nurse there for 25 years in the emergency room, sat next to me and advocated for my care, hopeful for my recovery. My now second life is a result of her sacrifice. To leave Cebu in the 1990s to work, even when her heart ached for her to stay, and come back home even after tirelessly building a good life for us abroad. This chance is not about me, but about how community and posterity should thrive in a universe where both the earth and its people live longer. For 6 years now, my organization, the Green Wave Cebu, prioritizes primary prevention of disease through ecologically sustainable action. So others won't require a second chance to grab their life by the reins, but be reminded that our lives are measured by the magnitude of hearts we hold.
Coming from a very small town, a college art degree is not something that one would usually take. Pursuing film as my major came with many difficulties. From going to a new school, moving to a new country, keeping my faith, and being far away from my family. As Filipinos, family is everything to us, so chasing this dream meant sacrificing so much. There were times where I felt doubt, sadness, and isolation, but I was able to channel these emotions into my first ever short film about mental health awareness and my personal journey. Filmmaking was my form of therapy, and I have no regrets. But my story is one of many, and my purpose now is to shed light to stories that are now bigger than just mine. My story is now their story.
Being born of a Sabanan mother and Muslim father and being raised in a Christian-dominated community, I have learned to embrace differences while celebrating similarities. Growing up as a Sabanan Muslim hybrid, I often struggle to find my place in a world where cultural and religious identity seems to be constantly at odds. But despite the challenges, I held on to a dream to become a beauty queen. As I navigated the complexities of my dual identity, I often felt like I didn't fully belong to either world. But as I grew older, I began to realize that my differences were not weaknesses, but strength. As I compete for the title, I know that I am not just representing myself, but also my community, my culture, and my heritage. I am proud to be an Indigenous woman, and I believe that my unique blend of culture and faith makes me a stronger, more compassionate, and more empathetic individual. And now, I am ready to conquer the universe.
Mabuhay! My name is Shamara Patricia Amy Krupa, and I'm honored to represent the city of Dumaguete, a place close to my heart and a place where my beloved mother was born. However, my journey began far from here. I was born in the UK. I was a very shy child with a loud love for fashion. One of my dad's favorite stories is when I was 3 years old, I grabbed a pair of scissors and I started cutting my hair. And I went out proudly to show my mum, and safe to say she was not happy with me. But from that young age, it just showed how curious, creative, and unafraid to express myself I was. However, growing up wasn't always easy. I felt like I was divided into two cultures. In school, I was often excluded and overwhelmed with anxiety. There were days where I couldn't bear to go into school. I remember crying and feeling really lost and out of place. But everything changed in 2023 when I attended a Filipino community event in the UK. One of the royalties UK approached me and asked me to take part in their Filipino pageant. I met girls who uplifted me, empowered me, and really made me feel like I belonged. I'm now living the most extraordinary chapter of my life. It really is a true test of dedication, but I love every second of it.
Diverse, diving into the universe. I grew up in a multiculturally driven family. As a half-Muslim woman who was raised in a Roman Catholic household, one can only imagine the kind of burst of colors that I go through on a regular basis. As a Roman Catholic, I have been introduced to so many cultures that I find so many connections with. While the cultures that I have embraced as a Muslim has shaped my character as a woman, the coexistence of these cultures through my existence has made me realize that truly, harmony is a choice and it truly shows. As I display this array of diversity before you, may you all learn to love your roots as you dive into the universe with pride of where you came from.
A viable title holder, and even a role model. I have dreams of inspiring the younger generation of Philams to hold positions of prominence and make their impact in the community. I want to lead with resilience and do things with purpose. This was something I reminded myself every day in college. Starting off as a chemical engineering student, I was in a class largely dominated by males. This was difficult every day because the imposter syndrome started to settle in. Was I enough? Was I able to complete this course? Will I ever be good enough in any career? But I had a decision to make. Either let my thoughts consume me or push on and be a role model for the women in the engineering community. I had a unique purpose and was challenged to be resilient in the face of adversity.
The story of mine was built by experiences that has led me to where I am today. I graduated with high honors and joined various journalism competitions in the past. Growing up, I always knew that I wasn't given a life like most people. I knew that I had to take the lead by putting myself to jobs to help my siblings and scholarships to get me going with my dreams. At 20, a young girl like me has already gone through so much than what one can imagine. And yet here I am with a steadfast heart, breaking boundaries and achieving dreams. There were so many reasons to back down, but the universe gave me so many reasons to hold on. This is Juliana Acot Rosado, your Miss Universe Philippines Iligan, taking on the journey of the unknown and beyond, ready to take the first step, especially when the universe is in my doorstep.
My name is Jean Nicole Lipa. I'm 23 years old, and my story is one of identity, resilience, and unwavering belief in the power of perseverance. I am an immigrant. I lived in 3 countries, Philippines, Canada, and the US, and with every move, I faced the same question: who am I? Finding my sense of self has been a constant challenge. Holding on to my Filipino roots while trying to fit into new culture, new languages, it felt like I was living in between worlds. I thought being a good student was the answer. Study hard, earn my degree, prove I belong. But as an undocumented first-generation student, I faced barriers no one else had to. There were times I wanted to give up. Times I thought maybe I wasn't meant to achieve my dream. But then I found mentors who believed in me, a support system that reminded me my journey was mine to define, that my dreams were valid, and my struggles did not make me weak, they made me stronger. To anyone out there who feels lost, uncertain, or held back, know this: your journey matters. No matter where you come from, you belong.
Got today, I'm gonna bring it, I'm gonna make it mine. This voice inside, now you can hear it, I know the choice is mine.
As a true musical and visionary artist by nature since I was little, I aim to fulfill a calling by the Lord to be able to complete a mission of helping others by how He has designed me to weather passion projects like working on another Art for a Cause project where I plan to have my art auctioned, to raise even bigger awareness about my water's advocacy, and just to continue to inspire everyone that if we only treated everything with love, especially our waters, in such a way, the future generations can surely say that we are so lucky to be in this universe, filled with love and wonders of nature that are of His and hers. Love, your Miss Universe 2025, Iloilo City, hashtag that Filipina Karen.
I grew up in Iloilo, surrounded by the love and care of the Ilonggo community. Then moved to London at the ages of 7, where I was raised by my strong, independent mother, who instilled in me the values I uphold till this day. My passion for education and linguistics sparked my interest to teach in South Korea for 2 years. I was able to impact the lives of my students through the English language and immerse myself in the diverse culture. Inspired by my mother, I followed her footsteps in becoming a NICU nurse, where the realization of my advocacy, mental health for OFWs, came to life. As someone who is deeply invested in the well-being of our OFWs, I have made it my mission to raise awareness and offer support. I believe that when you inspire someone, you spark change. I am Angeline Cordero Kailani, a proud Filipina from the dynamic Iloilo province and the Filipino Society of England. I am ready to touch lives, ignite hope, and be the source of pride for Filipino people.
Growing up, life was filled with hardships. I lost my father at a young age, and every visit to the cemetery was a painful reminder of his absence. On top of that, I endured racial discrimination with their cruel words and actions that made me question my worth. And poverty constantly hung over me, limiting opportunities and dreams. But these challenges became the fire that fueled my determination to succeed. My past doesn't define me. It fuels me, guiding me toward a future filled with hope and purpose.
Being a student comes with so many pressures, such as academics, social life, and future expectations. But I want you to know that we are heard and we deserve to be. I have learned that struggling with mental health is not a sign of weakness. I chose to take action. I started an advocacy program to raise awareness about mental health among students. Through this journey, I always go back to my core, my family, who has been my greatest support system, and my dog, whom I consider my best friend. I offer every step of my journey to God. Their love and belief in me have given me the strength to say, I am enough. I want to remind everyone, there is always a brighter side to the universe. The light is always there, and together, we will rise.
I am MJ Esperto Fernandez, Miss Universe Philippines Kalibo Aklan, and this is my story.
I am Eloisa Hawud, a Filipina from Laguna, an only child who never met my father. From the very beginning, my story was never ordinary. I was raised by twin mothers. They gave me everything: love, warmth, a home. I searched for my Indian father, but hope slowly faded until it was gone. I work hard to make my mommy proud, but life is cruel. I lost her to COVID, and with her, I lost everything. I could have let grief consume me, but I chose to fight. The universe led me to international modeling, to the bright lights, the cameras, the applause. But no spotlight could ever fill the darkness inside me, until I realized maybe my pain has a purpose. Pageantry was never about the crown. It was about the voices I could uplift, the hope I could bring. Even in pain, we can find purpose. And no matter how lost, how broken, how alone you feel, You are not alone.
Growing up in an underdeveloped community, I've seen firsthand how it impacts not just my life, but the holistic well-being of hundreds of children around me. We didn't have access to safe drinking water, waste wasn't properly segregated, and the environment was full of toxins. It was tough, especially for children trying to grow and stay active. This awakening situation in my community opened my heart to start making a real change. My parents, despite not having the luxury of basic necessities to finish their education, always found a way to provide for us. They didn't have much, but they gave everything they could to ensure we had the opportunity for a quality education. As a future teacher and role model for the next generation, I want to carry on their legacy to continue working for my community, giving back those in need and guiding every child towards a brighter future. Every small step can make a huge difference, and I believe in the power of education to change lives. Natasha Agosto Testa, and that is her story.
Immigrating to Canada as a young child, I didn't know what my future would look like. It was tough, but I found a home here with my family and have carried our Filipino values and traditions with us. But none of that would have been possible without my mom. She came here with nothing but hope, carrying the weight of caring for my stepdad who's quadriplegic. She faced hardships, sacrificing her own dreams to give him the care he needed, all while raising me and my family. It was in this struggle that I discovered pageantry, not just as a competition, but as a platform to give back. Through it, I found my purpose. Because of the opportunities pageantry has given me, it inspired me to start a foundation to help other Filipino caregivers like her. Because no one should go through this journey alone. This is my way of giving back to the woman who gave everything for me, a second home and a second chance.
From heartbreak to hope, my empowering journey. I am Victoria Malona Johnson, your Miss Universe Philippines, Florida. Growing up in Florida, I struggled to find my identity as a Filipino American while battling depression and societal pressures. Heartbreak once left me at my lowest, but in that darkness, I found faith, a reminder that with God, all things are possible. Visiting the Philippines in 2024 changed my life. Walking in the streets where my mom grew up helped me connect with my roots and embrace kapwa. It was a reminder that true strength comes from both self-discovery and the connections that we build with others. That experience inspired me to fully embrace the things that make me unique and to find new ways to express who I truly am. Creativity has always been my refuge. Through crocheting, dancing, and self-expression, I've embraced my individuality and turned my sensitivity as an empath into strength. My message is simple. Embrace who you are, inspire creativity, and believe in the unconditional love of Jesus. My journey isn't about perfection. It's about finding beauty in the struggle and thriving despite the pain. Instead of letting hardship define me, I transformed it into motivation to push forward and succeed. Every challenge I've faced has been a stepping stone, shaping me into the woman I am today, and I stand here as proof that no struggle is too great, no pain is too deep, and no dream is too impossible when you walk in faith.
I met my younger self today. I arrived right on time. She almost canceled. Though she was late, I'm glad she showed up. She didn't know what to order, nahihiyayan for sure. But I decided on a brown sugar boba for the both of us. She asked me if everything was still worth praying and living for. I told her that it would hurt, but that the pain would make a way for answered prayers. She wondered why life wasn't working out the way she thought it would. I reminded her to keep trying, that with each small step, she will soon be amazed at just how far she'd come. "What are you doing after?" she asked. "Well," I said, "we're headed towards the universe."
As a little girl, I dreamed of becoming a model, turning Christmas decorations into earrings and blankets into gowns. But life led me to sports. From the basketball court as a UAAP player to the billiards table. I've learned teamwork, resilience, and strategy. These lessons drive my passion for women empowerment in sports. Because to me, true adventure is about growth, pushing boundaries, and embracing challenges. Now, I am excited for the next chapter. Knowing that every step brings me closer to my full potential.
Mabuhay! My name's Bella de la Cruz, and I'm 25 years old, a full-time female economist at Oxford Economics. I recently graduated with distinction honours from the University of New South Wales. In my free time, I love singing, dancing, performing, and emceeing with the talented Filipino community. I'm also an athletics age champion and a state dodgeball player. In my free time, I love learning languages to connect with everyone, watching anime and cooking Filipino dishes with my mum, my favourite being sinigang, pancit, and adobo.
I've always had a very strong passion for economics, especially due to its power to help solve some of the most important issues in the world. That's why, as an NUPH delegate, as well as an economist, my advocacy is to promote education, especially for the youth, so that they may provide themselves the brightest futures as well as write themselves their own destinies.
This is my story. My mom has always been my best friend. She's the strongest and most beautiful woman that I know. Seeing her battle cancer was hard, and losing her to cancer just last year left me in a place where I didn't know what to do. Growing up, I would remember watching pageants with my mom, and we actually made a promise that one day I would be on that stage. So Mama, here I am. I'm keeping our promise. Through this platform, I want to spread awareness on preventative measures and the importance of early detection in women's health. Turning my pain into purpose, carrying her strength and her beauty, I, forever and always, will share her story.
I am Teresita Sen Winwin Marquez, 32, representing Muntinlupa City. What's the role of a lifetime? For me, it's not just one. Let me show you. Every morning is a reset, where I prepare my body and mind to take on whatever comes my way. When the lights come on, I'm an actress, telling stories that inspire others to dream. I make time for the people who matter most. My family, my friends, they are my circle of strength. I serve with purpose and empower individuals who need it most. And every day, I'm enjoying my favorite role, being a mom. It's not just a role, it's the heartbeat of my life shaping everything I do. Every role, every step has shaped who I am today. I am Teresita Sen Winwin Marquez. Come join me in my journey.
They say you never really know where life will take you. And I'm living proof of that. Nagdakula ako sa Naga City, Bicol, kung saan ako nagklase sa Universidad de Santa Isabel as in sa Camarines Sur National High School. When I-decide ang ako ang mom to go abroad, nipuyo mi kang akong brother sa Cebu. I was 17, he was 14. Taking care of my younger brother at 17 is really challenging. Kaya tatawa ako mag-Bicolano o kasabot kong Bisaya. At 19, I immigrated to the United States. In the middle of COVID, I decided to join the US Navy. I felt like it was my obligation to help out during these challenging times. During my service, I got tons of tattoos, and that includes my mom's favorite flower, the gumamela. I like to have a piece of her wherever I go. Now, after going to Bicol, Cebu, and the United States, my next stop is the universe!
Sabi nila, habang tayo'y tumatanda, makikilala mo ang iyong sarili. Matutuklasan ang lahat ng kaya mong gawin. Makasisilip sa bintana ng mga bagay na pwede kang maging. Hinawag ako ng dagat, sumisid at nakipagkwentuhan sa mga alon na palaging nagpapaalalang ang pangpang ay pwede ko ring maging tahan. Sa mga unang hakbang sa buhangin, minsan akong nahanap ng takot. Lakas loob akong naglakbay, hindi tumigil sa pagkampay. Ilang bundok rin ang aking inakyat, humakbang ng walang kasiguraduhan. Hinawid ang mga ilog ng kalungkutan at ang malamig na hangin ay nunungso ng pagsuko. Pero hindi kilala ng sarili ang pagtunto. Natuto sa bawat hakbang, hindi sa sukatan ng iba, kundi ng sarili kong tapak. Gusto kong malibot ang mundo, hindi nangangambang baka minsan maipit. Dahil tanda naman ng pusong, ako'y palaging higit pa sa lahat ng kaya kong makamit.
Okay na ba ako lang?
Yes. Here's your mic.
Ay, thank you.
Ready ka na?
Yes, na. Okay.
My story is all about resilience, loss, and finding where I truly belong. I was born into a family spread across Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. I grew up surrounded by love, but things weren't always easy. My parents separated in 2011 and it hit me hard. I ended up living with my aunt. I felt abandoned, thinking I wasn't loved. But my uncle became my guiding light, giving me the courage to find my mother. In 2017, I lost my uncle. It was another tough blow, but his memory gave me strength. I made my way to Cebu, found my mom, and began to heal. We built a new life in Negros Occidental, a place that embraced me as its own. Now, as a mom myself, I've found love, purpose, and a home in Negros Occidental. My journey taught me that even through pain, there's healing, and even in loss, there's love. This is my story, proof that every broken pieces can create something whole.
Hi, ako si Chanel Olive, a proud Filipino-Australian, married woman in my 30s, born and raised sa Far North Queensland, Australia. Dati minsan pakiramdam ko out of place ako. Kasi parang iba ako noon gusto ko sana meron akong blonde hair at blue eyes para mag-fit in sa lahat ng mga tao. When I came to the Philippines, naramdaman kong totoong Filipino ako. I found God and my life became one of purpose. One centered around advocating for multicultural diversity, inclusion, mental health, self-worth, and faith-driven confidence. My studies in counseling and ministry, along with my personal experiences, inspired me to create my platform, Flourish Godly Confident. Isa rin akong events and wedding host and talent. At sa lahat ng ito, ang tunay ng motivation ko ay ang patulong sa iba, especially women. Embrace their uniqueness, rise above societal expectations, empowering them to remember that they can flourish and dream at any stage of life. Because if I can rise from my struggles and turn them into something good, kaya mo rin. Ito ang story ko. Anong sayo?
I grew up watching my older sister win pageants, while I stayed on the sidelines. Shy, insecure, and only dreaming of standing on stage. But with my ate's success and my parents' support, I found my inspiration to join beauty pageants too. I finally took that first step last year, but I lost. But instead of letting that defeat define me, I pushed forward. I joined the municipal level and won, just like my sister did years ago, making history in our town as the first siblings to claim the title. That victory led me to compete at the provincial level, where I proudly earned the crown. In just 1 year, I transformed from a girl full of doubts to a woman embracing her passion. I faced my fears, realized I was capable of more than I ever imagined, and serving as a beacon of hope to my community. I know the universe has led me to where I am today for a purpose, and I am now ready to embrace the journey and conquer the universe.
Cross, crowd, and crown capture my inspiring story. I carried my cross in life. At the age of 13, naranasan ko magbenta ng mais, sumama sa mga catering services, at sumali sa mga local pageants para masuportahan ang aking pamilya at ang aking pag-aaral. And I thank God I carried my own cross through my hard work and perseverance. And now that I have more than 1 million followers on social media, my goal is to inspire my crowd. Mula sa pagbangon ko sa kahirapan, hanggang sa pakikipagsapalaran ko sa ibang bansa as an OFW. I always make myself relevant to my crowd, using blogging as a platform. The 168 local pageants I joined have not only given me crowns, but have been instrumental to who I am today. As I have carried successfully many crosses, and now that I have the opportunity to influence my crowd, I am ready to wear in my head and in my heart the Miss Universe Philippines crown.
Having been able to shelter myself independently at the age of 17 taught me a lot of things in this lifetime.
It made me look at life differently and have my attention on things that have been abandoned due to unforeseen circumstances. But in my view, a pet's welfare isn't really unforeseen, as it will always be one's choice owning and raising one. I started a positive change after unconsciously relocating and rescuing around 20 stray cats and dogs in my community. I am a fur mom to 2 dogs and 4 cats, while simultaneously fostering 6 puspins and 1 aspen.
A man that is left alone has all the choice to survive, but a pet has no other choice but to survive.
Helping others has always been my passion. Whether through the Red Cross or healthcare, I saw how small acts of kindness could change lives. That's when I realized leadership isn't about recognition, it's about impact. As a doctor, I see my patients' struggles every day, but I have learned that healing goes beyond medicine. It's about giving people hope and strength to keep going. Being the eldest and a daughter of an overseas Filipino worker, I took on responsibilities early. It wasn't always easy, but faith kept me strong. Reading God's Word reminds me that every step has a purpose. Now, as Miss Universe Philippines Pampanga, I carry the heart and dreams of my province, ready to inspire, empower, and create change. Pampanga is my home and I carry its people's hopes and dreams with me. This is more than my journey. It's our story, our purpose, our moment. For such a time as this. From serving in a white coat to wearing a crown, my mission remains the same. To uplift, inspire, and create meaningful change. I am Ranchua Marie Manalastas Mayangitan, Miss Universe Philippines Pampanga, ready to take on the universe with passion, purpose, and the heart of a true Kapampangan.
I am Andrea Robanzo Cayabyab, Miss Universe Philippines, Pangasinan. They say a queen is born into privilege, but my story begins on the rough roads of Pangasinan, riding at the back of my father's tricycle. My father makes a living as a tricycle driver, while my mother, a housewife, pours her heart into raising a family. My brother gave up his own education so I could pursue mine, to become a civil engineer. I saw how life wasn't always fair, but I also learned that dreams don't ask where you come from. They ask how much you're willing to fight. My journey is proof that strength isn't measured by where you start, but by how far you're willing to go. I am the daughter of a tricycle driver, a man whose hard work and sacrifice shaped the woman I am today. One of vision, resilience, and purpose. This is my story, and I am just getting started.
I grew up in Parañaque City, a vibrant community that shaped my values and character that continue to guide me today. Now, as I prepare for the Miss Universe Philippines competition, I am deeply inspired by my nephew Kenzo Miguel, who has mild autism spectrum disorder. His resilience has taught me the true meaning of perseverance. I am deeply motivated to create opportunities for individuals with special needs and has similar situations. This journey is not just about personal growth, but also about using my voice to advocate for inclusion, support my family, and contribute to a more compassionate society.
Hi everyone, I'm Jenny Kimagasid, your Miss Universe Philippines Parañaque City.
The first time I realized I was different, I was 8. At the amusement park, I was turned away from rides meant for kids my age. Too tall, too big. My skin was darker, my hair thicker, my eyes shaped differently. I looked around at a sea of fair-haired kids and wondered, why don't I look like them? It wasn't just my height, it was my mom's thick accent and the traditions I had to explain. I felt caught between two worlds, not quite American, not quite Filipino. Then one day, my parents took me to a Filipino gathering in Pennsylvania. I didn't know what to expect, but the moment I walked in, I felt it. The mix of English and Tagalog, the laughter that sounded like home, people who looked like me. For the first time, I didn't feel different, I felt seen. And that was just the beginning. Year after year, we kept celebrating, bringing the Philippines to Pennsylvania. In our food, our stories, and the way we welcomed everyone like family. And that's when I realized, home isn't a place. It's the people who make you feel like you belong. Yes, I'm still a tall, tan Filipina in the middle of Pennsylvania. But now, I wear it with pride. I'm Amanda Salvador Russo, and this is my story.
Studying human resource management drives my passion for people, encouraging inclusivity and positive change in the workforce. Balancing my studies, modeling, and now Miss Universe Philippines is a privilege I am deeply grateful for. With determination, perseverance, the right support, and the right people, anything is possible. Truthfully, HRM was not really a first choice. But I believe that life leads us where we are meant to go. The best things in life comes from taking chances. So if you have a dream, go for it. Seize every opportunity. You might just discover how amazing life can be.
My name is Zoe Hinay Honeyman, and I'm representing the beautiful Quezon City. I'm a proud Filipina Australian, and I've had the absolute privilege to grow up and experience two different worlds. I really wanted to represent the side of me that has helped shape who I am today as a person and played such an integral role in my life. My Filipino side has helped bring out the beauty of family, friends, and the warmth that accompany both. And I'm here today to showcase that we should all just be proud of who we are and just embrace our uniqueness. Because at the end of the day, we shouldn't have to adhere to other standards, but just the standards that we set for ourselves. Because I am Zoe, and I'm not sorry for who I am.
I competed in an international pageant in Japan with no fingernail. Little bit comments here and there that chips away on your confidence, like, oh, parang you're gaining a little weight. He dragged me downstairs and he pulled me out of the door and then nilock niya yung door. Wala akong phone, wala akong wallet, wala akong anything. I even went to work one time where I had pasa on my face. I didn't realize that there's other form of abuse apart from physical abuse. It really chipped away from my confidence na saying na, oh, dapat nga baguhin ko to, o baka nga ganito, baka nga ganyan. But in reality, they're feeding off you.
It is my greatest wish to follow in the footsteps of 2 generations of women doctors in my family and dedicate myself to the well-being of our children. As a child of a busy single mother and a pediatric specialist, I grew up around medical clinics and I tried my best to calm patients as she administered treatments. I saw both suffering and bravery, but nothing could have prepared me for the loss of my younger brother to dengue fever. Liam. It took all my courage, but I used this as a source of motivation. So in 2020, I followed an opportunity to study in Australia. Now I have returned from an accredited medical scientist, and I would love to use these experiences to improve the health of our country. Not only in the lab, but also here with Miss Universe, making the most out of my blessings to be a strong advocate for Filipino children's health.
Mabuhay! My name is Mariah Nicole Galesana Valdez, 26 years old, representing the province of Romblon. Growing up in a small coastal town, I have learned that dreams have no boundaries. It is my inspiration to dream bigger, work harder, and never give up. There was a time I had to put my dreams on hold, ensuring my siblings had access to education and supporting my parents through challenging times. Education has always been my priority, not just for my family, but for my community. That is why I continue to support causes that empower the youth through learning, because I believe education is the key to a brighter future. And now, I am here on the Miss Universe Philippines stage, because no matter where you come from, your determination and your passion will always lead you to your destiny.
Mabuhay! I am Catherine K. Dakanay, and this is my story.
Growing up, I believed that dreams are limitless. I knew that if you put your heart and soul into something, the universe would conspire to make it yours. and I couldn't be more grateful for it. This is a tribute to the single mothers who work tirelessly, day and night, just to provide for their children. It is my mission to give back to the community that continues to raise women like me, strong and unwavering. It's time we bridge more gaps and work together to better strengthen and empower these incredible women.
My heart goes to this community as I too was raised by a single mother.
I feared loneliness as an only child, but my public servant parents showed me unconditional love. And beyond my parents, my grandparents brought so much color into my universe. However, my life shattered after my Lola Sani and Lolo Fredo passed away respectively. Later, my other Lola, Thelma, who built my confidence and engaged me in activities, suffered a stroke. I felt like I lost her twice. Losing them left me broken and unmotivated. In school, struggling with anxiety. But with the love of my remaining grandparent, Lolo Tony, and my parents, I regained my strength. I dream again. I share and open my heart with the children and the Dreamcatcher organization family. Yes, the pain and pieces of my past have turned into growth, and I'm ready to move forward. This is Suzanne Thalmadayo, and this is my story.
My journey has been shaped by the support of my community and a heartfelt desire to make a positive impact. My name is Jessica Victoria Chanquino, proudly representing the Filipino community in Eastern Canada. From the Philippines to Canada, I have witnessed the resilience of young women. Since 2019, I have been building meaningful connections with young women in shelters across the Philippines. Through mentorship and support, I have watched them grow into empowered individuals. Since 2018, I have worked as the Ambassador of Mental Health for the Youth and Parents Association of Markham, promoting confidence and well-being among the youth. When we support women and girls, we create ripples of change that impact generations.
A paradise of crystal clear waters, majestic waves, and a community full of heart and resilience. This island is more than just a place. It is my home, my strength, and my inspiration. But this journey is about more than a crown. It's about purpose, about making a difference.
From the pristine beaches and lush coconut groves of Siargao, I embody the grace, resilience, and natural beauty of my island.
I am deeply committed to protecting our natural treasures and uplifting the youth through sports and education.
Let's celebrate together as I proudly represent Siargao as a true gem.
Who am I? I guess we could start from the beginning. When I was a baby, my parents thought I couldn't hear or speak until I turned 3 years old when I finally learned how to express. These doors were my shield to which I would hide behind from because I used to be so scared of people. Now, the people are my driving force and the source of my strength and hope in this lifetime.
And the reason why I am here.
Experiencing the local colors of all 17 regions of the Philippines allowed me to discover inspiring strengths, skills, and stories that empowered me, at the same time, grounded me. All of these experiences honed me to be an effectual spokesperson and leader, and instilled a responsibility in me to spark change and make an impact. But I am not perfect. Beneath the strong persona is also a human that breaks down, cries, and gets tired. But at my lowest points is also when I realize I am more than what I define myself to be. Because I am a representation of all the Filipinos I have met. Now who am I?
I am Iliana Marie Aduana, a universal Filipina with an unconditional purpose. And I am you.
Do you feel fortunate to have grown up with 3 incredible and nurturing mothers? Because I do. I have a story to tell, one that is very close to my heart. From a young age, I understood my life's circumstances. My biological Mama Alice was working abroad while I was lovingly raised by my 2 wonderful mothers, Mommy Vicky and her sister, my Mommy Agnes. But both of them are now with our Creator. But if I had to choose my family all over again, I wouldn't change a thing. They complete me, and I cherish being an ate to my 3 little brothers. Magulo, pero masaya. I know that they are proud of me, and everything I strive for is in honor of them. This dream we share is truly ours, and the universe embraces it.
They say a mother's love is the purest thing in the world. But what happens when that love is filled with fear? When you look at your child and wonder, am I enough? When I became a mother, I lost a part of myself. I questioned everything. Was I a good mother? A good teacher? A good woman? Depression whispered that I had to choose my child or my dreams. But then I realized I am not just one thing. I am a mother, a teacher, and a woman whose dreams never truly faded. And when Miss Universe embraced women like me, I saw not just an opportunity but a calling. To prove that motherhood is not the end of ambition, it is the beginning of something greater. Your dreams are waiting. Go chase them.
Growing up, I never saw myself in the beauty space. But today, I'm here. A beauty queen, even running my own beauty brand and navigating through it all. Sometimes you surprise yourself in the process. My family instilled in me the values of hard work, kindness, and believing in myself, even when others did not. Family is also the company you keep. The ones who walk beside you, lifting you higher and reminding you that you're never alone on this journey. I'm a lot of things all at once, and each piece of me shapes who I am. The title is just a title. True queens rise by staying true to themselves and lifting others. I'm Katrina Legado, and this is my story, and it's only just beginning.
In 2008, my mom left for a life overseas, while I stayed behind, determined to make her sacrifices worth it.
Hi ma! Kumusta ka? Yari ako kuman ka study.
With hard work and perseverance, I graduated as cum laude. I soared by becoming a flight attendant, fulfilling not only my dream, but Mama's dream for me to touch the skies. Inspired by Mama's selflessness, I champion access to quality education for indigenous children, making their dreams as important as mine. Mama always believed I was destined to wear a crown, from little pageants to standing here today as the first ever Miss Universe Philippines Dandag City. But now, Mama, you're no longer here to witness this moment. Ma, hiyadi na, yakuha ko na gayod. For every dream fulfilled, there is a story of love and sacrifice. This is mine.
Growing up, I lived a sheltered life. Home, school, repeat. I had no friends outside my family, and I had no chance to explore who I was or what the world could offer. As a child, my birthmark drew stares and whispers, making me feel like I didn't belong. In my teenage years, I silently struggled with depression, anxiety, overthinking, drowning in my thoughts, and feeling like no one could understand my pain. When I began to question my sexuality, the weight of my identity crisis added to the silence, as I feared rejection in a culture where acceptance wasn't guaranteed. But today, I am no longer silent. I am a beauty queen who stands tall and proud, celebrating the strength, courage, and resilience that have carried me through my journey. To my fellow Filipinos struggling to come out, you are not alone. Growth is never linear, but there is light, always light, at the end of every tunnel. Together, we can create a universe where love and authenticity thrive. This is Sasha Lacuna, your Miss Universe Philippines Tarlac.
I knew my life would change the moment that I took the uncharted path. It did not matter that the odds weren't in my favor. I pushed forward, fought to the end, knowing my core was anchored in vision and humility. I was raised to be headstrong, but I also learned that true strength wasn't about being invulnerable. It's about finding courage in the discomfort of life's adversities. And in that openness, I found the people who stayed, not because they saw my potential, but because they have been believing in me from the very beginning. Through the people I met, I discovered all the different versions of myself, the struggler, the fighter, and the victor. Each one of these pieces has built me into who I am today. My story may not be as grand as the tales I once read, but it's one worth listening to. Because in the end, it's not about the size of the story, it's about how it inspires and putting trust in the beauty of our own journey.